Hey, welcome back to World Entertainment. And what's the quickest way to kill a movie? Well, it's to tell people that it features everything they feared that it would and don't want. And that is, of course, politics. And unfortunately, that has just been confirmed by none other than James Gunn regarding Superman. Yep, you remember how everyone was afraid it would be a take on social crap with politics in America, and James Gunn came out and said, oh, it's not about politics and there's nothing political in it. Well, James Gunn has now confirmed that Superman is about politics, immigration, and the decline of American kindness. Yeah, so we're going to have a look at this because the marketing for this thing has been a disaster from day one. Every clip they're releasing is a disaster, and just even out of context, you're looking at going, this is dragging, or it's not working, or it's terrible, or whatnot. And every time James Gunn opens his mouth, he says something contradictory, something stupid, and just makes people less and less interested. So whatever happens with this movie come this week, whether it succeeds, whether it bombs, whether people love it, hate it, what, or indifferent to it, it's all going to be on James Gunn's shoulders. But let's see exactly what he has to say, because this is ridiculous. So, with mere days to release, director and DC Studios co-head James Gunn has finally said the quiet part out loud. Yes, the new Superman movie is about politics. In a new interview with the Times of London, Gunn opened up about the themes at the heart of his DC Universe reboot, and he made it abundantly clear that this version of the Man of Steel won't shy away from commentary. I mean, Superman is the story of America, Gunn said, though it should also be noted that Gunn and DC have taken extreme care to omit Superman's classic American Way motto from the film's promotion. And yes, that is one thing that has been getting called out a lot, is the fact that they have been absolutely refusing to say truth, justice, and the American way. And you can see that plastered everywhere. The action figures and toys have truth, justice, and the human way. They had David Cornswet doing an interview, and you could see where he wanted to say it, but obviously was told, don't, because he said it features this, truth, justice, and then he struggled not to say the American way, and he went, and other things. Even a CBS interview with James Gunn, the guy doing the interview has a monologue where he says, you know Superman, truth, justice, and you know the rest. And it's just like, wow, why are they so terrified to say, and the American way? That's who this character is. He's an American character, stood for truth, justice, and the American way. And the world never had a problem with it. There's a reason these characters are so popular. They're not just popular in one little area. They're popular world over. Why? Because people were able to take to the characters, regardless of a phrase like truth, justice, and the American way. And the fact that they're getting so divided and focusing on the stuff we're going to look at also just shows you how small-minded they're actually looking at these projects, because they need to understand, oh, we want to put our messaging for what we believe our party should do because we're on the right side and they're on the left and we're the blue and they're the red and stuff. And it's the case of, yeah, but you're making this movie for everyone around the world, not just in America. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you might actually stop putting this type of crap in there. But this continues saying, he's an immigrant that came from other places and populated the country. But for me, it is mostly a story that says basic human kindness is a value and is something we have lost, Gunn said. This statement confirms what many fans have suspected and feared for months. Superman will serve as a cultural and political progressive parable rather than a traditional action-driven escapist superhero film. While Gunn frames the movie's message as one of compassion, it's unmistakably wrapped in the language of modern political narratives, particularly on the topic of immigration and America's moral standards, which isn't exactly something everyone's jumping to talk about right now because it's just so completely divisive, which this talks about here, saying the decision to frame Clark Kent's journey as a metaphor for immigration isn't new, but Gunn's overt emphasis on it, especially in the current cultural climate, puts Superman squarely in the crosshairs of today's deeply divided political landscape. When asked about how audiences might react to the film's themes, Gunn didn't hold back. Yes, it plays differently, but it's about human kindness, he said. And obviously, there will be jerks out there who are just not kind and will take it as offensive just because it is about kindness. But screw them. So much for nuance. By Gunn's own admission, the film will explore morality, conflict, and clashing values, particularly between Superman and Lois Lane. Yes, it's about politics, but on another level, it's about morality, Gunn continued. Do you never kill no matter what, which is what Superman believes? Or do you have some balance, as Lois believes? It's already about their relationship and the way different opinions on basic moral beliefs can tear two people apart. It's a striking turn from the classically apolitical hero who once stood for truth, justice, and the American way. In fact, Gunn's comments suggest a film more interested in questioning America's identity than celebrating it, promoting some longtime fans to wonder if this Superman even stands for anything distinctly American anymore. Gunn's remarks will likely add fuel to an already volatile debate around Superman and politics. Critics of recent superhero films have pointed to Hollywood's increasing tendency to inject overt political themes into beloved franchises, often at the expense of broad audience appeal. With the DC brand already struggling for box office traction following recent flops like The Flash and Blue Beetle, some fans worry that Gunn's ideological framing might alienate more viewers than it attracts. Gunn appears unbothered by the possibility of backlash, but with early social media chatter already pointing to concerns about tone, message, and deviation from the Superman mythos, it's unclear whether the director's defiance will translate into ticket sales. And that is the thing you gotta be looking at. It's like, why would you do this? And you're doing it because you want to try and say the right are in the wrong, we on the left are in the right. This is our stance and we're going to show you why we're right. But again, you're meant to be making a movie for everyone in the world, not just a small portion of an American audience that supports one particular party. And that's what they're doing when they put this type of crap in there. I don't understand this thing that he says he comes from other places and populated the country. What the hell does that mean? No, he comes from Krypton, he landed in Kansas, and he's a Kansas boy through and through. What this thing is about he populated the country. Clearly, James Gunn is trying to say the people will turn against him are the people who will be influenced by Lex Luthor, which what we're already now being able to tell from everything Gunn is saying here is Lex Luthor will basically be the Donald Trump of the movie, and everyone that supports him will be MAGA. And if you even go into, because this is on the Times in London, if you go into their pay, well, I believe you have to pay to look at that crap, but if you find other articles where they talk about this stuff, and you go down to the comment section in the articles, and you can see exactly already the division that has begun, because you have all the people that are supposedly the tolerant left, as they like to be called, already in there firing off saying, oh, can't wait to see the MAGA supporters go crazy over this. That right there tells you everything you need to know about why this is a stupid thing to do. Why can't you just make the movie, leave all the politics and all the messaging BS out of it, and make a movie that everyone in the world can sit down, watch, relax, lose themselves in, and not have to think about, oh, look, it's immigration. Look, there's non-white people getting deported again. Oh no, here we go. Why? Why is that a part of Superman? It makes no sense. But He has confirmed the very thing we all feared. And once again, want to know how to kill your movie before it comes out? Say stupid shit like this. Whatever happens with this movie, everything gets put on James Gunn. And right now, it ain't looking good. So with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Cheers, and I will catch you in the next one.